Salutations, brave explorers, and welcome to a special edition of Age of Empires 3 Thursday, because it is Thanksgiving Day here in the United States. Now, if you do not celebrate Thanksgiving where you are in the world, or you celebrate it on a different day or for a different reason, I'm just hoping you're having a great day, and thanks for joining me for some Age of Empires 3. But if you're an American, I hope you're having a great Thanksgiving. I hope you're taking some time for good food and family and just taking some time away from your guys' busy lives. And I hope I can give you a little bit of entertainment today to go with that delicious, delicious turkey. But we have a special match for Age of Empires 3 Thursday this week. It is not your typical cast, and I'll explain in just a moment. But first, in the south of the map, playing in the color blue as the civilization Dutch, we have my good friend MFD, who is kind of the man who organized this match and played it for me. Thank you so much, MFD. You are a beautiful man. And in the north of the map, playing in the color red as the civilization Mexico, we have his opponent, Melon Cola. Now, I've never spoken with Melon Cola, but you, sir, thank you so much for playing with MFD and making this possible. It was kind of short notice. I came up with this idea the week before Thanksgiving, and I really wanted to get it out in time for the holiday. So thank you to both of these guys for making that dream a reality. Now, why did I need to prepare? Well, this is a special map. Number one, it is the map Plymouth, which you will never see in competitive play for numerous reasons. It's more of like a gimmicky kind of scenario map to go with Thanksgiving. So a couple of things about it, as Mexico is already going to the second age. Holy cow. Wow. It's the 2-minute mark, and he's already got the market down. Now, granted, he does start with 4 extra pilgrims, which are just settlers. That is one of the things you get on the Plymouth map, is you get that extra settler boost right away. You also get the Turkey Scout, you get a Native Scout, and I think that's it. So again, it's one of those maps that you probably won't see in tournaments just because there's a lot of factors that make it a little bit imbalanced. And also, MFD pointed this out to me. No matter what civilization you are, you will get a European explorer. So if you go Hausa, you'll get a European explorer. If you go Haudenosaunee, you'll get a European explorer. So it kind of screws over those unique scout civilizations anyways, which is kind of weird. And Melon Cola right away sending 4 settlers in the second age. MFD not to the second age just yet, although he is very close. And we'll be looking at Mexico to see what he does. I'm wondering if some revolt play is coming along, some sort of aggression. And as you look at this deck, you'll also notice this is not your typical Mexico deck. And that's because another thing about Plymouth that makes it pretty much unplayable in competitive is that you cannot bring custom decks into Plymouth. You can only use the standard decks that the game pre-builds for you, which they're not terrible, but they are not competitive decks, to say the least. Just looking at this Dutch deck, it's missing some very, very important cards. However, it looks like MFD has sent the 3 Vills. He has sent 700 wood and also sent 8 pike. No, he has not. That just can't be sent because he does not have the population yet. Just sent the 700 wood. I was wondering. I thought that was a little bit early for his 3rd shipment, but it looks like MFD's Turkey Scout is going to go down. It was trying to blend in with these wild turkeys and just not able to do it. I think the hat gave him away. Which brings me to the final change I made to this map. I got in touch with one of my friends who knows how to mod scenario maps, and he went ahead and made every single hunt on the Plymouth map turkeys. So there are no deer, there are no elk, no pronghorn, no bison, none of that, just turkeys in order to fit our holiday theme. Although, if I know my history right, I'm pretty sure the Pilgrims or Separatists and the Wampanoag natives, I don't know if they actually ate turkey. I think they ate deer, so maybe I should have made it all deer, but who knows? What I do know is that we do have 4 soldados and a petard making its way down the map towards the Dutch base. Meanwhile, MFD aged with the veteran halberdier, which is a age up you don't see very often. And the Petard is going to shoot down that veteran halberdier, which is a very tanky unit, but not great against ranged fire. And the Petard going to do half damage to that barracks, is not going to take it down. A bank wagon coming for MFD. Meanwhile, Melancholia did revolt. And he is sending, looks like he sent 6 revolutionaries as his first card, making more. And he does have an artillery foundry down, so we're going to probably see a group of falconets coming here. But the halberdiers getting on the infantry. And these halberdiers, if they can get in close, they have stats similar to a veteran hussar. So we're going to do very well against those revolutionaries. Take out that petard so that it can not use its explosive damage against the barracks. But now that the ranged units have gotten some separation, they're able to fire on the halberdiers. And the halberdiers are going to back off. That was a good decision by MFD. Definitely don't want to get your men kited to death, but is sending team infantry. So 10% hit points, only going to make those halberdiers even tankier, and has already eaten through his first set of turkeys, but the Thanksgiving meal is not over yet. Moving on to the second herd, as has Melancholia, and 3 falconets moving across the map along with this batch of revolutionaries and soldados. Those soldados are going to be very important, protecting those falconets from any kind of cav play. Although MFD doesn't have a stable down just yet. I think that's because he didn't send quartermaster, so he's a little bit short of wood. And he doesn't have as much infrastructure as the typical Dutch build might have. Does have 5 skirms out, though. Going to try to kite, but the falconets are going to unpack and take out that 1 skirmisher. Going down to 4. Got a nice batch of halberdiers out here. And remember, these are veteran status halberdiers, so they are quite good. Researching placer mines as well, but now 3 falconets have arrived. They are going to begin besieging that barracks as I take a sip of coffee. And I don't think MFD is going to be able to save that barracks. He does get out 10 more skirms, so nice job getting that pop out in time. Might be very useful against the soldados and the revolutionaries, but having just a strictly infantry army is going to make it very hard to deal with these falconets, and they are going to begin sieging that second bank. Nope, sorry. No, that's actually his 4th bank. Holy crap. So MFD actually going pretty hard into the eco, has 26 vills compared to Melancola's 24. I didn't see those sneaky banks in the back, but that petard gonna go down before it can take out the house. And nice awareness by MFD to save his infrastructure there, although is going to lose the bank. It looks like he finally has a stable up. Gonna be getting out some hussars and sending 8 pikes as well. So I wonder if he's just gonna try to overwhelm Melon with all of this infantry combined with 5 cav. Although Melancholia does have a decent mass of infantry here, and another falconet coming down. So that's 4 falconets. And in come the halberdiers, along with hussars coming out of the barracks. And envoys coming out, along with Minutemen and the 8 pikes. They have arrived, and here we go. Here's the big fight, ladies and gentlemen. The hussars going right in for the cannons, gonna try to bonk them down. In come the veteran halberdiers. Skirmishers putting on damage from the back. Minutemen getting some good value here, along with the envoys. The 8 pikes just getting in there and creating a mess. In come the veteran halberdiers, but the revolutionaries taking them out quite quickly. The hussars are all down, and the falconets are taken care of. But there is still quite a mass of infantry here for Mexico. Melon might want to pull out here, losing a lot to these skirmishers in the back. And what an awesome pop by MFD. However, I do think the Mexican army is going to be strong enough here that he can continue pushing, although did lose 5 falconets. Or no, not 5, excuse me, 4 falconets. But another petard making his way down the map, going to continue to bust out these petards, I guess. And it looks like MFD is sending infantry attack, so he's going to continue to buff up his skirmishers. Looks like Melancholia sending 6 revolutionaries, continuing to make falconets. He already has 2 more in queue. Villager count is 23 for MFD, 24 for Melancholia, so lost a couple vills in that fight there. But you got to give it to MFD. That was a great hold. 4 falconets and a wave of infantry, and he popped out all of those things at just the right time. The 8 pike, the 5 Minutemen, the 5 envoy, and the hussar, along with his reinforcing halberdiers and skirmishers. But now the Mexican army is starting to do some good damage here, keeping a lot of villagers penned up. Some of these villagers have been forced to berries, and I'm surprised MFD actually hasn't gone up to these turkey herds up here in the north of the map. but still a lot of revolutionaries on the map, more arriving along with more petards. And I think he's going to continue to target this town center, which has taken some damage. More envoys coming out along with more skirmishers, but another falconet has made its way to the field. 2 more falconets, excuse me, but in come more hussar. They're going to try to go straight for those falconets. Are they going to do it? 1 falconet is for sure going to go down, possibly 2. Oh, maybe not. He might save both here. Well, 1 falconet is on very low HP. The other is at about half HP. Those hussars not able to do enough damage, although I'm guessing he's going to start targeting that. Is he going to target it with his town center? Yes. And the revolutionaries just keeping the skirmishers at bay here. More skirmishers coming out. More revolutionaries being sent by Melancholia. MFD has no more military shipments because he is using a pre-built deck, so we're not going to see any mercenary play here. But most of the Mexican units going down to the town center fire and the kiting from the skirmishers. The falconet is down. Now 2 falconets are down. Did he use a villager? I think MFD used a villager to go melee that cannon down. Oh, that is awesome. The villagers coming out now, but they are going to run away once again. Don't want to get shot at by those revolutionaries. And I think MFD might have held it here. However, he is in a pretty nasty spot economically. 21 vills to Melancola's 24. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This replay was actually sent in 2 parts. So here we continue. MFD was able to hold that push by the Mexican revolt in his base, although he did take quite a bit of damage, did lose some houses, some military infrastructure, as well as a bank. Melancholia has the villager lead, although MFD does have the banks, so might actually be fairly even economically. More revolutionaries and petards coming out for MFD, also making more falconets and chinacos. So cavalry finally hitting the field for Mexico. Going to be very good against this mass of skirmishers, but a wall, and say it with me, walls equal wins. This is a nice little octagonal wall that MFD is putting up here. Not going to be a full wall, of course, but is going to protect him from any sort of cavalry raids, or at least buy him time. And oh my god, Melancola's turkey is still alive. Look at this little guy. We can get a close-up on him. Does he have the hat? No, he does not have the hat. He's just a normal turkey. I wonder if it would be hard to see him just walking around the map. But the chinacos are in, the petard going down, not going to be able to target the wall. That is going to buy the skirmishers some time to kite these cavalry. Cavalry having to go all the way around to this unfinished section to get at the skirmishers, but the skirmishers sneaking out through the gate. What nice micro by MFD. And the chinacos are going to have to go around, able to avoid those cavalry. But in comes a falconet, another gate going down for MFD, and now the chinacos have them from both sides. And the falconet is firing, and we have a 3-pincer movement. The skirmishers are completely trapped, and the chinacos coming in, more walls going up for MFD, but these skirmishers are going to go down. Another gate going up, but the chinacos sneak through the gap. The revolutionaries pouring in fire along with the 1 falconet, and that mass of skirmishers is not going to be saved by MFD. Although, what a what a noble attempt to save those skirms there. Is going to get down his 4th bank, and meanwhile Melancholia making more chinacos. It looks like MFD is switching to hussar production, which is going to be quite good for him, although these chinacos going to do a lot of damage to these villagers who are on berries instead of these turkeys. Finally getting some vills out to that turkey feast up in the north of the map, but it might be too little too late. Revolutionaries on the map along with chinacos and 1 falconet still on the field. Veteran halbs and hussar coming out. What is he going to do with these 5 hussar? He might go straight for the falconet. No, he's going to conserve them. And they're going to start targeting that bank. I don't know if a bank is what I would target, simply because it has so many hit points. Out come 3 envoys. They're going to start beating on that falconet, and the chinacos going to have to come and save that falconet. And 5 veteran halberdiers now out for for MFD. The falconet getting targeted by the town center and able to shoot 2 of those 5 halberdiers, but the halberdier going to be able to knock it down. The hussar doing a fair bit of damage against the chinacos, but not going to be enough with the reinforcing fire from the revolutionaries. And Mexico continuing to pile on the pressure here. And MFD, you know, I thought he was kind of starting to gain his footing there, but it seems like every time he's able to kind of reestablish himself, in comes another batch of Mexican revolt units. And look at this! Melon even sending some of his vills to collect this 700 food that MFD sent. What a cheeky play by the Mexican player, stealing MFD's Thanksgiving feast. Oh man, that's the equivalent of your relative taking the last piece of pecan pie. That was dastardly. More skirmishers coming out. Hopefully they don't get noticed by the Chinacos, but in come the Hussars, gonna be able to body block there, and he might be able to hold off the Mexican push just one more time. In comes the Turkey Scout, who is actually gonna draw fire of the skirmishers, so actually being militarily useful here. A turkey being a valuable unit on the battlefield. Who would have thunk? More Chinacos aiming at those skirmishers in the back of the base. The Hussar able to take out this group, but more reinforcements coming in. The Revolutionaries pouring in fire. The town center putting in a little bit of fire on the Revolutionaries, but more skirmishers coming out. But now there's more Chinacos here to take them out, and only one Hussar to reinforce. More Hussars in production. No military units can be sent by MFD, and it looks like the Dutch army is once again going to be eviscerated, although the Mexican player is down quite a few units, now just down to the few Chinacos that are left. What is he sending to reinforce? More revolutionaries coming across the map. And look at these settlers with petards. They are taking this center gold mine, and it looks like Melancholia has firmly established map control on Plymouth Colony. Oh, wow, what a game. What a back and forth. This is such a weird map. And I don't even know. No, it doesn't look like anybody has taken advantage of water, which I don't know if that would really even be worth it. Again, a lot of turkey hunts up here that MFD has just now kind of started to farm with this group of villagers. Meanwhile, Melancholia getting in on this turkey feast over here. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. But wow, okay, this is really, really, really fun. So MFD looks like he's held the push. I think, I think it's still in favor of the Mexican player. Melancholia has 30 vills to MFD's 26. Although MFD is now sending fencing school, which is really one of the only shipments he has left other than the church improvements card and the advanced arsenal, which would not help because MFD does not have an arsenal. And so going to be able to train those skirmishers quite quickly. Look at how fast they train. Although, again, because of these pre-built decks, Plymouth is not something you will ever see in a tournament, simply because it just limits pro players in such a terrible way. But look at this mass of Mexican units coming down. A huge batch of Chinacos with revolutionaries and a petard, probably going to target the town center. No, not the town center. I wonder what he's going to target with that. Only a few Hussars. He's got veteran halberdiers. He's going to have to be very careful with this anti-cav here. He can't get them shot by the revolutionaries. Getting the veteran halberdiers in a decent spot, and lots of Hussars out here going to clean up the revolutionaries, and that was a good engagement for MFD. Very nice engagement indeed, but more falconets, 2 more falconets joining the fray. The explorer going down, a really nice catch by the Dutch player, and sends Mexico scurrying back to his base. Just the Chinacos and the falconets, which would not do well against the halberdier Huss combo. More skirmishers coming out thanks to that very fast training time. 28 vills for MFD and 4 banks against 30 vills for Melancholia. And here comes the big middle fight. Let me get a good shot of this. Ooh, those falconets putting in a lot of damage. And now, oh my god, those veteran halberdiers going down very, very quickly. And now it looks like the momentum has swayed back into the Mexican player's favor. And the Mexican player also now starting to dominate the Plymouth map, starting to take all of the hunts, all of the mines. This group of villagers is now out of food, and the only hunt they have is here in the south, all the way across the map. Going to be a lot of walking time for MFD. Meanwhile, the military getting slowed down by the cannons. The one disadvantage that Melancholia has is that his army is more immobile, thanks to the slowness of the artillery in Age of Empires 3. But he might get a raid here. Is he going to see these vills? Let's see. Does not see the vills yet. Doesn't even see the dead animals. Going to go straight for the Dutch base. Meanwhile, the Dutch player doesn't have much. He's got Hussars, which are still unupgraded because the Dutch player is still in Age 2. He has not gone up to the Fortress Age yet. 2 falconets coming out, more revolutionaries, a big handful of Chinacos, and I don't know if MFD is going to be able to hold this one. He's used his Minutemen. He's pretty low on resources. He has almost no coin, in the bank. Or excuse me, that's Melanchola. MFD does have plenty of coin in the bank, just training the 5 skirmishers right now. Gonna try to maybe snipe off these 2 cannons. Nope, gonna pull back. Continue to boost up his skirmishers number. Oh, look at this flank here. He's going for the pincer himself. More Chinacos joining the field. Looks like he's going to try to flank the Mexican army, get in on those cannons, but nice job by Melon using his Chinacos and his revolutionaries to protect those falconets. One is going to go down. The second one might go down. No, I think it's going to survive. More Chinacos getting in the fray, and now all of the hussars are down, just leaving skirmishers on the field, and the Dutch army is going to get wiped off of the map. And 1 falconet still alive, going to start sieging that town center immediately. Oh, pardon me. Sometimes the action just gets so great that I start muddling my words, and this is one of those times. But it looks like the Dutch town center. I think this is the death nail for MFD. He is trying to sneak up and take out that falconet, but even if he takes out that cannon, I don't think it's going to save him. So many cavalry on the field. And more are coming, more revolutionaries. These hussar are not going to save the day. And it looks like it is over for the Dutch player. The Plymouth colony, the Pilgrims, are no more. And Plymouth, Massachusetts will be claimed for the Mexican Empire. What a rewrite of history, ladies and gentlemen. Although the Pilgrims were not Dutch. I think they lived... I think they actually... Oh, there's the game. I think the Pilgrims lived with the Dutch for a while, although you guys will have to correct me on that if we have some more historically minded folks. But I'm pretty sure that the Pilgrims lived with the Dutch for some time before they went to the New World. Meanwhile, these Dutch settlers did not make it. Melanchola taking the win with a very, very aggressive and persistent revolutionary build. And you could just see MFD, there were like 2 or 3 times where it looks like he was going to hold the push, and then Melanchola pulled back, remassed, came in again, and eventually the Dutch player ran out of shipments, he ran out of gimmicks, he ran out of Minutemen, and he simply just couldn't hold. Let's check out the post game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the post game, and if we look at the resources, we actually see MFD, the Dutch player, gathering a substantial amount more resources than the Mexican opponent, 28,000 to 22,000. But when we look at military units, we do see an advantage for Melanchola, 91 revolutionaries to only 60 skirmishers, 150 to 136. And when we look at the kills, that's where we really start seeing the discrepancy, 161 to 116. Now, if we go to the timelines here, we go to the villager timeline, we do see kind of a flat line for Melanchola during his revolt, and then we see kind of steady growth here for MFD. But even with these flat lines, it looks like Melanchola was able to put on enough pressure that his villager count actually stayed almost identical to MFD's, and at one point even surpassed it, even though Melanchola wasn't making any villagers. And then got some more villagers here, another flat line, more villagers here, and by the end of the game, after all of that fighting in his base, Melanchola actually had more villagers than MFD, just because he had taken so many losses, because he was doing a lot of fighting under his town center. And then the last thing I'll show you is the military unit pop. Substantially in favor of Melanchola almost the entire game. There were a couple of points where it was close. It was fairly even here. And of course, at the beginning of the game and around here. But everywhere else, we see that Melanchola had a pretty significant advantage in military units. And then at the end of the game, 60 units to only 10 for MFD. But again, great game by both players. Thank you guys so much for getting this to me before Thanksgiving. And I'm going to go enjoy my holiday with my family. But until next week, everyone, have a great day. Have a great life. See you later.